Jan, welcome in the Netherlands.
Thank you.
Oh, is this the first time now?
No, I'm here like 5, 6, 7 times a year.
I'm very interested in your story about hostmanship. How did it start?
Well, it actually started, I've been working with hostmanship throughout all my life. I used to work in the hospitality industry, and it was kind of natural to call people guests and treat people as guests. And then I winded up in the Swedish government to help the government to produce a strategic plan for the future of Sweden. And then we came up with the idea, if we don't have a welcoming culture towards each other and all the people coming to Sweden, living there and to live there or as tourists or what have you, it's very hard to be successful. So then I started to work with the idea of hostmanship, the art of making people feel welcome. And today we work in all walks of life. We work in healthcare, in zorg. Is that the Dutch
Zorg
word?
is the Dutch word.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that. Also in local governments and authorities, and also in companies. And it's just what you said. It begins with welcoming yourself, being in harmony with yourself, and being authentic, the true you, so to speak. And then that kind of reaches out to people close to you, your colleagues, your family, your neighbors, or what have you. And then it will also stretch out and reach out to people whom you don't have a relationship to. So we call it welcoming yourself, welcoming each other, and welcoming others.
Okay, and then the thing you have experience in the local government. I'm working at the local government. But in the story today, you told also something about the power of the leadership.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that something? The leadership, the employees, a lot of things have to start and to change in the leadership position.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the role of leadership is to create the right conditions for people to work in. And I think that when I come out and inspire people on hostmanship, well, that might be the first step. But if the conditions are there, if that's not put in place, the systems, the structure, the processes, or what words you want to use, it's very hard for individuals to perform hostmanship with a welcoming way, so to speak. So therefore, I think leaders, they have two roles here. One is to create the right conditions, and the second is to be the role model. They have to role model what we mean with our values and the culture we want to have. And if we want to have a welcoming, inclusive culture, they have to be welcoming, inclusive. Otherwise, it's just talk.
Yeah.
So leadership is extremely important. But it's not solely the leader's responsibility. I, as an employee, have also a responsibility to show up at work and contribute.
Yeah. You have the 10 keys.
Yeah.
In the it's a movement, hostmanship. It's not a project or something.
No,
it's a movement.
It's not. No, it's absolutely, and it's the interesting thing with hostmanship is that I kind of lecture all over the world. We have an office in Uganda, and soon in Istanbul, and here in the Netherlands, and Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Ireland, I think it is now. So this is something that works in our diverse society. It doesn't matter what you believe in or what you don't believe in. It doesn't matter from which culture you come or what ideology you believe in and stuff like that. It works kind of, it's a common language. Because in all traditions, and also in the humanistic movement, dignity, respect and care, which is the foundation of hostmanship, is in all those, in all societies. Wherever I go in the world, everyone wants to be treated with dignity, respect and care. Maybe a bit differently, but the basis for everything is that.
A very important point is culture in the story, but also the inclusive behavior. What are tips for a local government to give more attention to an inclusive environment?
Well, I'm not maybe the right person to answer that, but I can give you some thoughts. I think that culture and hostmanship is developed through conversations. So I think as a local government, we can create forums and arenas where people can have conversations. Let's say that you would have in your local government every month or so, you would have something called Hear My Story, where you would invite somebody living in the community, maybe born there or not born there, to share their story, their life. And then we have a conversation about these. What is a welcoming, whatever your community is called, what is a welcoming Holland? What is a welcoming Sweden? That's a conversation. And I think as a local government and also in organizations, we can foster, nurture that the people talk, meet and talk.
So facilitating the meeting and the talking to each other on a respectful basis.
Exactly. That's one important thing. Then of course you can make a lot of decision how you greet and treat and meet people coming to you as tourists or immigrants or entrepreneurs or what have you. But I think the conversation is creating forums for community and conversations. And in Sweden, you know, we are a very deregulated country, so schools are privately run, a lot of them, and hospitals and this. It used to be that we had those things in common, and then we had the basis for a conversation. Now it's companies running a lot of that stuff, which has its advantages, of course. But if we don't have an arena, a forum where we can meet each other and hear our stories and our concerns and things like that, we will get very isolated, and then you live in an anonymous societies where people are isolated and groups are isolated, and that can really lead to terrible things. You know, if people don't feel included in the society, you know, they can do terrible things. Just see what happens with all the terrorism and all that stuff.
That's exclusion.
That's exclusion.
Eenzaamheid, loneliness.
Yeah, I know. Ensamhet in Swedish. Ensamhet.
Ensamhet. Okay,
it's
okay.
Close.
And what is the? I want to hear at the end two secrets. One, a Swedish secret about a society, and one secret in hostmanship where it's so close to people themselves that they can start with it right now.
Well, if I would tell you, it's not a secret anymore.
Yeah, but that's why this video is very important.
Yes. So let's start with myself then. I think you and I and everybody else are born natural good. We're not just good, but we are born to do good. So I think instead of thinking that I have to add on things or learn things in order to be a more inclusive, welcoming human being, I should see what hinders me. And when I see what hinders me, it's like things like negative stress, when I'm out of shape, don't practice as I should, it's lack of sleep, worry, a big ego, fear and things like that. So I have to work with that, because behind all that there's the welcoming me. So that's one little secret. I think the people that are really welcoming, they see to it to take away everything that hinders them from the natural goodness to come out, so to speak.
The harmony of yourself.
The harmony of yourself, and take away everything that disturbs that harmony. A lot of people like me, we practice mindfulness and meditation and things like that in order to be in a more harmonious state, our mind. So I think that's a good thought or secret. And then you said the society.
The Swedish, because Sweden is often an example on the social developments, for example here in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
What is the best kept secret of Sweden when it's going about societies?
I think that two things that characterize the Scandinavian way, or at least I can say the Swedish way. And this was talked about at the World Economic Forum in Davos. And it's that in our culture, we have two things. One thing is that we have individual freedom is extremely important for us. Like I know in the Netherlands, maybe even more. But for example, we in Sweden, we have something called all man's right. It means that I can walk wherever I like. Even if somebody else owns the land, I can walk there except in their gardens. So I have access to water, to nature, everywhere. We need to have freedom, individual freedom. We want to be able to choose if we want to live as singles in a one-room apartment, and we don't want to live in our parents. We want to be free. We don't want government to tell us too much. But on the other hand, it's also the common good. We in our culture want everybody to get a fair shot. Like education is free, universities are free, healthcare is more or less free in Sweden. And we are the one, what I understand, the one country that contributes most in foreign aid per capita. We're over 1% of our GDP. And we have taken for the last 2 years 250,000 refugees into Sweden, and a lot of immigrants too. With 10 million people, you can imagine. That would be the same here. It would be close to 500,000 refugees that you would have taken in here. So it creates a lot of stress in our systems, in healthcare, in schools, and what have you. But we have both those sides. The individual freedom, that's very important. If I don't want to belong to something, I don't need to do it. If I want to do it, I should have the freedom to do it. Unless I hurt people, I won't do it. But also the common good. So we have a mix. In some cultures, they have either or. It's just the common good. And they become like the Soviet Union or something like that. Or just individual freedom tends more to like the Republicans, Donald Trumps, and what they are in the US. So I think that's... So we have a welfare society, and that is very important for us. We don't think that children should play to go to university if they can't afford it. No, everybody should get a shot to that, and healthcare. That's natural for us.
The basic idea of basic sharing.
Yes, it's a sharing society. Yeah. I mean, not like 100% of course, but basically.
Yeah.
So if you want to lose an election in Sweden, you should propose to lower the tax.
Okay.
Yeah, then you lose. Because most of us think that it's cool to pay tax. It's okay as long as the government use the resources in a good way. That's fine. I pay tax.
Yeah.
I pay a lot of tax.
But you tell me, first nurture yourself, treat yourself good and the other.
Yeah.
Use and see the freedom you have, respect that.
Yeah.
And start by respecting and sharing with the other.
Yeah.
So
that's important.
It's not a very complicated life.
No, it's not.
It's very simple life.
Oh, we get some, what is this? Sorry. We get something to eat.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
So in the basic, hostmanship is go treat yourself well, start with yourself, and make connection. Meet the other, be interested.
Show your self-respect, show your self-dignity, show your self-care, and show your self-compassion. Because life isn't just a fun ride, always.
Yeah.
Sometimes we wind up in issues and problems, and we should be more compassionate towards ourselves. Because being a human being isn't so easy always.
No.
So it starts with showing yourself. And then you show the people around you respect, dignity, and care, and show compassion. And then you can move on. You can move on. Like I have started 30 companies for families in Uganda. So my heart goes all the way kind of to Uganda if I get this wheel going, so to speak. And then you can also include coming generations in welcoming them, how we do and take care of this planet. So it starts from within.
It's an inspirational story. It's and not only a story. It's your reality.
Yeah.
So that's very positive for me and inspirational.
Yeah.
Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Okay, you are also welcome. So when you come to Houten, give me a call.
Houten. Okay, yeah.
And I think we go on our way and start with ourselves and be open for everybody.
Yeah.
And not select on the entrance or something, but be there for everybody.
Yeah.
So see what happens.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. tendency to see with my eyes always. With my through my experiences, through my knowledge, my fantasy and my prejudice.